Welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus, and today we're going to talk about 5 players the Minnesota Vikings should just cut right now. Just get it over with. But before we do, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. Become a YouTube member if you got a couple extra bucks in your pocket at the end of every single month. So let's talk about 5 players the Vikings should just cut now. This isn't meant to be like an overly negative video. We try not to be negative here in the Onebar and Lupagus show, but this is just like, you know what? We know you're not making the team. We'd rather have some other guys take these reps in training camp. So let's just cut the cord now, give you some chance to find a new team. Because it ain't going to happen here in Minnesota. So let's go through 5 guys. And I'm going to start with the most obvious one, in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you guys are yelling Cine, but no. Most obvious one to me is the kicker, John Parker Romo. We signed him like the second day of free agency. This kicker who's never attempted to kick in the NFL. Absolutely bizarre, the timing of that. Usually a kicker like this you bring in during camp to compete with the struggling veteran kicker or something like that, or struggling rookie kicker to kind of let a fire under his ass. But we signed this guy in March in the prime, in the throes of free agency. And now you draft a kicker in the 6th round, Will Reichert, who's just been lights out, hitting everything right down the middle from whatever distance you put him at. Everybody knew the second Will Reichert was drafted, John Parker Romo's job with the Vikings was done. It was over, unless, just something crazy happened, like Will Reichert's leg fell off. So here's the deal when it comes to Minnesota Vikings kicker. We got a new guy, so now this kicker needs to get on the same page with this holder, with this long snapper. That timing needs to be a fine, well-oiled machine by the time the season starts. I want Will Reichert taking every single kicking rep. There's no reason to have a competition. John Parker Romo, great story. Glad you made some money for your family. Glad you got that contract. Well done. But let's just cut the ties, Vikings. We don't need 2 kickers. Go into camp with 1. He's going to be your kicker no matter what happens. You invest a 6th-round pick on him. He can suck. He could kick with his dick, and he would still make the team. So John Parker Romo, goodbye. Let's go with the guy I already mentioned, Cine. It's a sad story. I thought Cine was a very safe pick. I wasn't happy that we traded all the way down. And passed on Kyle Hamilton. That will still always sting, but I figured Cine, I loved him going in the draft. I thought he's a very safe player, smart, physical, knows football. He just can't pick up the defense. And the fact that you hear that he's struggling again in year 3, second year in Brian Flores' system, not good news. Yes, he had the leg injury. Year 1 really set him back, but I just don't think this guy has it. NFL, it's just not going to happen, at least not with the Vikings. So maybe he needs a change of scenery, a restart. Right now, you look at the safety depth chart: Harrison Smith, Cam Bynum, Theo Jackson, Jay Ward, Najee Thompson, Josh Metellus. If you throw him in there as a safety, would be way up on that thing. But he's just a defender, nickelback, wherever you want to put him. I'm not even going to call Josh Metellus a safety. If you do, he's the 7th safety, Cine. If he's not, you don't call him Josh Metellus. He's a 6th safety. He's at the ass end of the depth chart. He's not making this team. It's time to cut the cord. Just do it now. Get him off the field. Cine is not going to be reclamated. He's not going to be saved. His career as a Minnesota Viking is over. He needs a change of scenery. The Vikings need to move on. Kwesi blew the pick. He screwed it up big time. So no buts about it. You know what? It was a mistake. Own up to it and move on. Let's cut Cine right now. No point in dragging this thing out. Let's go to another guy, another draft pick from last year. Actually, it's the first draft pick from last year, but quarterback Jaren Hall. We got J.J. McCarthy. We got Nick Mullins. We got Sam Darnold. Do we really need to have Jaren Hall in there, taking reps away from J.J. McCarthy, being that 3rd, 4th quarterback where J.J. McCarthy is going to start? Sam Darnold probably going to be your starter. Nick Mullins, why would you, he's going to be a backup or the 3rd guy. And then J.J. McCarthy, the rookie of the future. There's just no need to have Jaren Hall as your 4th quarterback right now. Why bring him through camp? Any rep he gets in exhibition game, in practice, should just be going to J.J. McCarthy at this point. I don't see a reason to keep him around. Cut him. Maybe he catches on with the new team. You let Jaren Hall have a chance to maybe save his career in the NFL with a new team. But I just don't see it happening in Minnesota here. I don't think there's a spot for him. I don't think there's a place for him. And I'd rather see J.J. McCarthy get more reps and Jaren Hall just kind of hang around. So, Jaren Hall, we believed in you for a week. But that story's over. And it's time for you and the Vikings to part ways. Let's go with Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback. 2nd pick from Kwesi's first draft was also horrible. Andrew Booth Jr., at least he's been on the field a little bit. At least he's played, but it sounds like he's still struggling to pick up the concepts, to understand the defense. And you look at now the cornerback depth chart. there's guys here that are much more intriguing options. Obviously, you bring in Shaq Griffin, who's probably going to start. You got Byron Murphy coming back healthy. Mekhi Blackman, PFF's named him as a breakout player. You look at what else you got here. You got Jalen Williams, undrafted rookie last year, got some runs, looking good this year in camp. You got Dwight McLaughlin, the undrafted guy, and obviously Kyrie Jackson, the big fourth-round pick, the size, physicality. He's going to be a beast. You got Caleb Evans still there. There's just other options to go. There's other guys who have more intrigue, more upside on this roster. There's just no reason to keep Andrew Booth Jr. around. We all know he's going to get cut. Let's just do it now. Let's just get rid of him. Snip, snip, snip. Bye-bye, Andrew Booth Jr. You might as well go right now because you're not making this team. You had your chance, and you just could not cash in. Let's go with the final one. And this one kind of hurts my heart a little bit because you won us over. We love having a big old fat punter. Ryan Wright came out of nowhere, won the punting job as an undrafted rookie. Had a very good first season with the Vikings. And then last year, he kind of just falls off a cliff. Struggling, cannot kick it inside the 20, booting things, getting touchbacks, shanking punts, not flipping field position. And now you got this Seth Vernon that we brought in, this guy who's just killing it, booting the hell to football, placing it beautifully inside. Ryan Wright sounds like he's struggling again. If he wasn't struggling this year, then I'd let this thing carry up in the camp, into deep in the camp, let him really compete. I just think it's time to move on. Get Seth Vernon in here, especially if he's going to be your holder. I want him getting all the reps, all the holding reps. You don't need to split that thing. Timing needs to be down between the holder and the kicker. And I think the Vikings are going to need a lot of field goals this year. Just, I don't know how the offense is going to be with Sam Darnold, with J.J. McCarthy, whoever it may be. I'm sure we'll still put up points, but we may need those field goals. So that needs to be a well-timed process like we already talked about. So Ryan Wright, I don't know. He's struggling. It's in his head. Who knows what's going on there? Time to move on. Let's just go with Seth Vernon. Let him be the holder. Get that thing just to be fine-tuned. And Ryan Wright, we'll miss you. You always have a special place in your heart. We always appreciate you coming on our live shows and commenting. So Ryan Wright, goodbye. Those are my 5 guys the Minnesota Vikings should cut right now. There's probably a couple other on the roster they could probably just let go right now and not invest any more time and effort into their development. So let me know in the comments. You guys got some other ones that you'd like to see cut right now. A couple guys that mentioned, am I wrong? Love to hear that as well. And I also want you all to keep your skull in your hole.